The night my sister disappeared, she left the front door half open and her 10-year-old son asleep on my couch. I still remember the cold air moving through the hallway curtains, the silence of the house, and the sound of my phone vibrating again and again on the kitchen table. I was making tea when I saw her message. "Don't hate me. I need to live my life. Take care of Noah for now." That was it. No explanation, no address, no apology worth believing. My hands shook so badly that I dropped the mug. Tea spread across the floor like something broken that could never be gathered again. My sister, Elena, had always chased excitement. She loved attention, expensive dreams, and men who made promises with empty pockets. She was beautiful, charming, and selfish in ways people excused because she smiled while doing damage. And Noah? Noah was the opposite. Quiet, gentle, always saying thank you even when no one remembered to help him. He had a serious heart condition since birth. He needed medication, checkups, rest, and stability, things my sister never gave enough of. I walked into the living room and looked at him sleeping under the thin blanket, one hand clutching his old stuffed tiger. His cheeks were pale, his breathing sounded shallow. He trusted the world too much. I sat beside him and whispered, "I'm here." He opened his eyes slowly. Did Mom leave again? My heart cracked in places I didn't know existed. "Yes," I said softly, "but I'm here." He nodded like he was used to disappointment, then turned his face to the cushion. Children should never know how to accept abandonment so calmly. The next morning, I found more than just her message. She had emptied the small savings account I helped her build for Noah's treatment. Every dollar was gone. Gone. She had taken the money and run away with the man she'd been secretly seeing for months, a loud, flashy man named Victor who sold dreams and lived on lies. I should have collapsed. I should have screamed. Instead, I packed Noah's medicine bag, called his doctor, and went to work after dropping him at school. Because pain doesn't always come with time to process it. Sometimes betrayal arrives on a Tuesday morning and you still have rent due on Friday. That first week, Noah asked about her every night. Did Mom call? No. Did she say when she's coming back? No. Did I do something wrong? That question nearly destroyed me. I held his face in my hands and said, "Noah, listen to me carefully. Adults make choices, sometimes terrible ones, but none of this is because of you." He cried quietly. I cried after he fell asleep. But what I didn't know that day was that my sister's betrayal was only the beginning. Because when someone abandons love for selfishness, life has a strange way of collecting the debt later, and I was about to witness every payment. Raising Noah changed everything. My apartment was small, my salary was average, and my patience was constantly tested by fear. Hospital appointments became my routine. Bills piled up like storm clouds. I stopped buying anything for myself. New clothes, dinners out, vacations, those belonged to another version of life. Still, something beautiful happened. Noah began to heal emotionally. He laughed more. He stopped asking every night if his mother would return. He helped me cook. He sat beside me while I worked late and said things like, "You should rest, Aunt Maya." No child should be that thoughtful from suffering. 3 months later, Elena finally called. I almost didn't answer. Her voice was cheerful, careless. "Hey, sis, how's my boy?" My boy? The words burned. "He's not a jacket you left in storage. He's a son." "Oh, don't be dramatic. I just needed space." "Space?" I whispered. "You stole his treatment money." "I borrowed it." "You vanished." "I'm happy now, Maya. Victor and I are starting fresh." I looked at Noah's prescription bottles lined on the counter. "You started fresh using your child's medicine money?" She sighed like I was inconveniencing her. Then she said the sentence that changed me forever. You were always better at responsibility anyway. I ended the call. That night, I sat in darkness after Noah slept. For years, I had protected Elena, covered her mistakes, paid her debts, believed she would mature someday. But some people don't grow. They simply become more dangerous with age. I started gathering things. Bank statements showing the emptied account, messages where she admitted leaving him, school records showing I was the only guardian attending meetings, medical records proving neglect before she vanished. At first, I told myself it was for protection, but deep inside, I knew something else was waking up. Not cruelty, justice. Then Victor called me. I recognized his smug voice immediately. Elena says you're turning Noah against her. I laughed for the first time in months. No, her actions did that. She wants money, he said. She's struggling. I went silent. She wanted money. After abandoning her son, after stealing from him, after months of silence? How much? I asked. 5,000. I nearly admired the shamelessness. Instead, I said calmly, "Tell Elena I'll help, but I need to meet her first." He sounded surprised. "Really?" "Yes," I said. "Really." When I hung up, I opened my laptop. The next 2 weeks were careful, quiet, and precise. I filed for temporary custody, I submitted evidence of abandonment, I spoke with a lawyer who had seen stories like mine too many times. Then I arranged the meeting, a fancy cafe downtown, public place, clean lighting, expensive chairs, perfect for masks to fall off. Noah asked where I was going. To close a door, I told him. He smiled sadly, like he understood more than a child should. Until everything changed. Because when Elena walked into that cafe wearing designer sunglasses and fake confidence, she thought she was meeting the sister she used to manipulate. She had no idea she was meeting the woman she created. Elena sat down across from me and smiled. "You look tired," she said, "and you look expensive." Her smile tightened. Victor stood nearby, pretending to browse pastries while listening to everything. She reached for my hand dramatically. "I miss Noah so much." "No, you miss access," I said. I slid an envelope across the table. Her eyes lit up. She opened it expecting money. Instead, she found custody papers. Her face drained of color. "What is this?" "It's the beginning," I said calmly. "Temporary custody petition, evidence of abandonment, theft of funds meant for medical care, witness statements, phone records." Victor slowly stepped back. "Alina," I continued, "you left a sick child without notice. You stole his treatment money, you disappeared for months, and now you came back asking for cash." People nearby had started noticing. She hissed, "You set me up." "No," I said quietly, "you built this yourself." She stood abruptly. "He's my son." "And motherhood is more than biology," I answered. "It's presence, sacrifice, protection. Things you traded for excitement." Victor moved towards the exit. "Elena," I called after him sweetly, "your fresh start is leaving." She turned just in time to see him walk out the cafe door without once looking back. For the first time in her life, she was the abandoned one. Weeks later, the court granted me legal guardianship, while a full review continued. Elena was ordered to repay the stolen funds and complete counseling before requesting supervised visits. She cried in court, but tears can come from regret or consequences. I didn't celebrate. Real revenge isn't screaming. It isn't cruelty. It isn't destruction. Real revenge is surviving beautifully where someone expected you to collapse. Months passed. Noah's health improved with proper treatment. He gained weight. His laughter filled my apartment like sunlight. One evening, while we built a puzzle together, he looked up and asked, "Do you think Mom loves me?" Children ask the deepest questions with the softest voices. I thought carefully. "I think your mother loves herself first, and some people never learn the difference." He nodded, then placed another puzzle piece. "Do you love me?" he asked.
Everything I have, I said. He smiled. That smile healed wounds no apology ever could. As for Elena, I hear life became difficult after Victor disappeared with debts in her name. Strange how betrayal often returns wearing familiar shoes. I don't hate her anymore. Hate keeps old doors open. I chose peace. Because in the end, family is not the person who gave you life, it is the person who stayed when life became hard. And sometimes, the ones left behind become the ones who finally save each other.